Now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk Hookup. Get ready for more of the best fishing information and the hottest tips on improving your angling skills. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And by Rancho Leonero, where your wildest Baja dreams come true. And now, Southern California's sports fishing voice, the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, and Corey Sandin.
Welcome back. Hour number 2, Let's Talk Hookup, right here on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio. Pete Gray here, along with Corey Sandin. Rock Cod Rick's on a well-deserved vacation with his wife and son. And Captain Tim Ekstrom from the Royal Star is here. It's just an incredible time here talking about big fish and just what an epic boat the Royal Star is, and how much fun we had in 2022 fishing on all the long-range fleet here in San Diego. And
some great conversation.
Yeah, some great conversation. And we're giving away a great prize.
Super cool. A $75 gift card to your choice at Dana Landing, East County, or at Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle, a $50 gift certificate to Cal's Custom Reels, and the new 2023 Bill Varney CCA calendar, a must-have. So one lucky caller, one lucky texter.
We'll have Tim flip the coin and see if the texter or caller. One line open on the calls right now, 213-432-1090. Been a busy morning on the phones. There's your chance. We've got tons of texts. We're going to get to those texts. But first, we're going to find out what's biting, right, Corey?
Yeah, right. We got Mark with the Catch Report. And the Catch Report is sponsored by Fish Pros of Fisherman's Processing in San Diego. Not only offer the best processing for your fish when your trip returns to the San Diego Landings, they have Fish Pros to Market having they're having a sale on
big sale. And today's the last day of that. You know, if you want to gear up for your holiday party tonight, you having a little party. They've got an incredible deal. Tell them about it.
They really do, man. It's you get the popular holiday platter that includes a pound of smoked fish, 3 packs of tuna jerky, and 3 packs of their popular smoked cheese. And I like the way Rick puts this. Rick puts it, you could be like the hero of the party, man, right?
Yep.
Just roll into that platter.
Yeah.
You get those bags, cut them open, lay it out on a wooden platter, and you're like the hero of the party.
And they're open till 2 or 3 today, because I can tell you they're going to have a busy day cutting fish today.
Yeah, they're
right?
rocking.
Yeah.
So call for details or visit them at their Old Town location or check fishermansprocessing.com.
Yeah, that Old Town location's working out great, right?
It's great. Yeah, it's way better for access and the building for our cutters in the back is just superior.
It's giant.
You know, it's huge.
And the ice machine, it's like, hey, you want some ice? Here, start shoveling it in, right? It's so awesome.
It's great.
Yeah, it's really great.
I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, no, it's been a good year over there for sure.
It has been. Yeah. Just again, the flow of it. It's so much easier to get product in and out.
Yes.
And that makes all the difference in the world. I mean, that you logistically that enables them to turn product that much faster. It's really, everything boils it down to time, especially for the same day anglers.
Right.
10 minutes means a lot.
It's kind of cool even if you don't have fish, you want to go in and buy a couple things like we're talking about. You can check it out through their window, but you can check it out through their window.
Rubs,
and
watch them cut. Watch Raymond the man in action.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, Captain Mark Wish, our private motor buddy with our fishdope.com report. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Pete and Corey and Tim. Great show, man. And, I got to tell you, it's always fun on the last report of the year to kind of recap the season, but you guys have done such a fantastic job. I don't really need to. The way you were talking at the start of the show, and Tim's perspective from the bridge of the Royal Star really summed it up on that offshore scene, fish everywhere. And that's the way it seemed like for an awful lot of this season. And then on the inshore, some was good. Some nothing short of spectacular, especially that Dorado thing, and then some not so much. But overall, 2022, what an incredible season, and 2023 with all the bait and good water and all the fish that's around and close by, I think we're all set, guys. So for a couple of relevant notes here, you want to remember the cod season closes as of midnight tonight. Other than the one boat that's out there at San Nicolas, probably getting ready to get their ass kicked coming home. That's probably the end of the cod season for most people. It was spectacular. They walloped them out there the last couple trips. But, it's shutting down here until April 1st, unfortunately. And then, guys, don't forget to get that 2023 license. And, if you buy it right away, you get your year like you would expect to. But if you buy it in March, it goes to March now. They're the 365-day licenses, finally, after however many years they got that right. So that's nice. And if we don't if we don't get too much wind tonight, and for you guys that just got to get out and start the new year off right tomorrow, you might be able to scratch a few bass from some of the kelp lines and hard bottoms. They've actually been biting pretty good. And you could try drifting a halibut out there in deeper water, 80 to 120 feet. Some off Dana, some outside of Huntington Beach there. And then you might also check out that zone right outside Point La Jolla. I had a friend out there day before yesterday. They didn't get started until late. But lots of bait, lots of birds, and they marked several schools of good great yellows. They did not catch any, but they didn't get there till late anyway. But they saw some fish, and conditions looked good. So that's kind of a wrap for 2022, guys. Looks like we got kind of a stormy week. We definitely got some weather, and but we'll be back next year, and nothing but reports on the line for the coming season. I can't wait. It's going to be fun. Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you, Mark, and thank you for all your great reports every Saturday on Let's Talk Hookup. Certainly a highlight for many of our listeners, including ourselves here at Let's Talk Hookup, are your reports. And, of course, fishdope.com, another highlight, $20 off a new membership to fishdope.com using the code HOOKUPNOW, lowercase, no space, HOOKUPNOW, your $20 code. It lasts a whole year, so why not buy it and or give it to a friend that you like to go fishing with?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's a perfect gift for
sure.
a fellow buddy.
Say, here, Happy New Year. Here's some fishing information for you. Fishdope.com. Use the code HOOKUPNOW. Save $20. And, Mark, how do we find you?
Well, P, we're in Huntington Beach on the corner of Bolsa Chica and Edinger by the Chevron station there. And the phone number at the store, area code 714-840-4262. Website's PacificEdgeTackle.com. And we got still kind of holiday hours here, guys, so make sure you check in before you come by. Don't just come wandering by.
There you go. All right. Well, Happy New Year to you. Enjoy, and we'll talk to you next year, Mark, which would be next Saturday.
Okay. You got it, guys. We'll see you.
All right. Appreciate that. Captain Andy Cates from the Red Rooster 3. Good morning, Andy.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey, great to hear from you. Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you guys. Boy, it sure was nice finisher there for the long-range fleet. The guys all came in with some big tuna, man. That was spectacular.
Was a rooster out?
Yeah, we were out. Ethan was running the boat, and they had a number of fish over 200 pounds and some, that nice 100-pound fish mixed in. So, boy, what a nice way to finish up the year, man. The whole fleet did great down there. Getting down there, getting on that fish, man. What a nice job everyone did there.
Were you also on a 5-day?
Yeah, I think most of the boats were on a 5. One was on a 3. Timmy's boat was on a 3.
Yeah, on a 3, yeah.
So, and they had some spectacular fishing as well, man. That was really something.
Unbelievable finish to 2022, and no reason why it shouldn't continue, right?
Yeah, I would hope so, man. Get through a little bit of weather and then get back on it, It'd be spectacular. So
For sure.
Pretty appealing, really.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it. So how are those Riviera cruises going?
Well, they're coming along, with a lot more traction with the help of you guys, coming on every other week and going over. We still have room on those couple of first trips, February 8th to the 13th and February 14th to the 18th. So if anybody's interested.
Those trips are both a go, though, right?
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and run the trips. And so for those of you that are interested, if you haven't gotten the information you need, you can reach our office at 619-224-3857 and come down. I mean, we did it last year, and it's really a spectacular event. You go down and cruise Mag Bay up through the mangroves up towards Lopez Mateo. Includes a lot of whale petting and a couple of nice hikes over into Santa Maria Bay and beachcombing and just the culture, of those small village dirt towns in there that you can briefly go in and check out and then get right back to the luxury and the security of the Red Rooster 3 with fine dining and a relaxing afternoon. So it really a nice change of pace, if somebody's looking for something different to do in February, it's coming around the corner here. So
and it's a perfect thing for couples to do, right?
Oh, it's mostly couples, yeah. Especially that February 14th, mind you, Valentine's Day.
Wow, what a great Valentine's gift, huh? Yeah, nice idea. It's fun. So it's basically your 4 days on the boat. Is that right, Andy?
Yeah, well, it's 4 nights, 3 full days. So it's considered a 4-day trip, yeah. And you fly down to La Paz, and then we courier you up, and then get you on a water taxi and get you through the mangroves out to the big boat, and then you start your voyage, man. It's from the minute you get on the Ponga, it's pretty spectacular getting through the mangroves, and then bam, there's the big boat, and you're like, wow, here we are, man.
So cool. And
let's unpack.
How many passengers?
It's maxed out at 24. Like I said, we have room on the first couple, and there might be an opportunity to be out on the boat with 15 people at this rate, so it could be nice. But they all add up, you got all 3 trips that we're trying to do here. So, with just a little more help, I would imagine we'd be in good shape, and sure we'll get some more people calling in here after the holidays. Things kind of slow down, but we're looking forward to getting some more people on board with this thing and getting us to continue another year on this. It's really a spectacular venture, and I just hoping that we can get the ball rolling on this thing.
If you've always wanted to do the gray whale thing down in the lagoons of southern Baja, this is what a perfect opportunity to do it in style and luxury and
to do it on Valentine's Day period, right?
Huh?
Like, and have that as your gift to your woman for Valentine's. That's pretty cool, Andy.
Wonderful. Well, hey, Andy, if somebody wants to go on the Riviera cruise on the on the Red Rooster 3, how do we do that?
Well, you can simply call the office and talk to Maria at 619-224-3857. And she can explain a little bit more about it to you. You can go on our website and take a look at that at redrooster3.com. And then there's a link on there that you can go directly to the Little Whale, the Riviera Cruise website. And that'll give you a little more on the itinerary and what happens and what to bring and this and that. But it's a backpack trip, It's quick. You're down, you fly down, you're on the boat for 4 days, you fly home. You're in and out, and you get...
And it's a wow factor for tour. I know I had one of our listeners and his wife come down. The wife was kind of, I'm not sure. I've never been on the long-range boat and stuff. She came down. He brought her down, toured the boat, picked out their stateroom, and you can do that, too. If you have your significant others that's not quite sure about it, come and check the boat out, right?
Oh yeah, that's exactly what they did. They came down and then signed up a couple days later.
Yeah.
We're not going to be in port very much from now on. We leave on a trip out of Cabo San Lucas on the 2nd the boat leaves. So we'll be in and out. So that'll be a little bit more difficult to come and check out the boat. But
it can be done. In between.
Oh, yeah. No, you can look at our schedule and sneak down when the boat gets in and take a look and check it out. So,
All right, Andy. Well, hey, Happy New Year to you, and sure appreciate you and the Red Rooster 3, and nice talking to you, and good luck with those trips.
Okay, you guys. Thank you. Hey, great show, man. Let's have a great New Year here.
For sure. Hey, let's go live aboard the Tribute. Captain Mike Pritchard's on the line. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning, guys. How's it going?
Great. You guys have been fishing, huh?
We have. We actually just got in from another day and a half trip. It may not be quite the whale watching down by the Riviera, but it was very, very nice. Absolutely epic weather. Yesterday morning started off good. We ended up with a good plunker on bluefin first thing in the morning, and it was starting to get pretty good right around 7:30, and then the conditions kind of switched around. But we did end up with 10 bluefin yesterday morning, up to about 45 pounds. Spent the majority of the middle of the day there taking advantage of the last of the California rockfish season for the year. And that was extremely good. We ended up with some really nice lingcod, sheephead, whitefish, rockfish, reds, stuff like that. I mean, still a really good sign of bluefin out there. Just very slack conditions. For the way our weather looked, it was actually too nice. Once again, if you look at our Facebook page, it was beautiful. Way nicer than they forecasted, and it was forecasted to be really nice.
Yeah, it's pretty darn exciting, Mike. I mean, with all that being said, you have some more day and a half coming up. I mean, is that something you're going to have on the calendar here at the beginning of the year?
We do. We have trips scheduled throughout January. We do have a Colonet trip. I think January 26th. It's already a go. It's sponsored by Seeker, so we will be dedicated to Colonet on that one. These other ones, at least for the weekends of January, are still going to be bluefin. With that epic bluefin, I might have missed part of it, but I mean, I'm sure you saw what the red rooster and the other long-range boats were catching. That is just outside of our day and a half range. I know we had some guys get on the boat Thursday night, after seeing some of the pictures, and there's a big difference between 95 and 175 miles.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, for sure. But you'll be running trips, and there's fish around, and Colonet, you can fish the rockfish down there as well as have a chance for some bluefin and yellows.
Yeah. So as of right now, we're still going to be targeting bluefin on these trips, unless something completely changes. But that big bluefin down the beach, I mean, if it makes a 40-mile move, we're going to be seeing that on day and a half trips. And they're early departure. They're 6 p.m., so that gives us plenty of time to get down there. And there has been, a pretty good bluefin above that. It's just, when you can run down on a 5-day trip and run straight to those big ones, I mean, that's what you're doing. But you remember last week there was really good sign of bluefin anywhere from 40 to 130 miles. So I think with a little more coverage, we're going to start seeing some of that big fish move in there.
All right. Sounds good. How do we book a trip on the Tribute?
Give Seaforth Landing a call, 619-224-3383. You can book through tributesportfishing.com, seaforthlanding.com. And always take a look at our social media, which is Tribute Sport Fishing.
All right. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that very much, and we'll talk to you real soon. Good luck. Guys. Happy New Year to you. Yeah, and that wraps up our catch report. Mike covered for Marcos there.
I know. You got to like it, right? I mean, who can complain about bluefin on a day and a half, right? The last day of the year. It's brought to you by Dana Landing on Mission Bay, your one-stop shop for everything you need to go fishing. They have a complete saltwater tackle shop, a full deli, snacks, beverages, ice, and boating supplies. And when it comes to freshwater tackle, check out East County Bait and Tackle and the new Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle. They have a full line of all the freshwater tackle and live bait for a great day on the lake. And Dana Landing is right across from SeaWorld next to the Dana Landing launch ramp. And then East County Bait and Tackle right at the end of the 67 freeway on Mapleview and Lakeside, and the new location of Lemon Grove Bait and Tackles on Broadway and Lemon Grove. For all of this, check DanaLanding.com.
Yeah, always good stuff over there at Dana Landing. Let's go. Phones are packed. Let's go ahead and jump in. They want to talk to Captain Tim.
I know it. Tom from Temecula. Good morning. Appreciate you joining us this morning, Tom.
Morning, guys. Happy New Year to all of you. Yes. Tim, I have a question and a comment. I had a bluefin that I caught this year, and it was at night, around 2 o'clock in the morning. And it was on a knife jig, and I literally just pulled the thing in. It never really took any big runs. Got it up to the boat, and I think one of the deckhands said that it may have been foul hooked. And needless to say, one guy went down to gaff the thing, and the thing just went ballistic. Jumped off that gaff and ran down the side of the boat, and they got 2 gaffs in it and jumped off those gaffs. Finally, they got the fish in, and I don't know where it was hooked or if it was truly foul hooked. Do you see very many foul hooked tuna? You have 24 or 30 guys dropping knife jigs down with a myriad of hooks on them. It seems like it's inevitable that you're going to get some foul-hooked fish. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I'll tell you a funny one. We had a trip in June, and God, it was just fish everywhere. They weren't biting very good. There's just these enormous schools. You could hardly even catch one. We had a stop at night. We had 7 fish in that stop, and every one of them was snagged.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully in the head region.
No, they were snagged in the sides. But brutal. I think a lot of times, I've actually seen fish doing this, diving under the boat back, in the day. And I think a lot of times they make like a swipe at it. You know, they come up and make a false pass and whoosh, you know, they come and look at it, but they don't bite it. But those darn knife jigs,
they have hooks all over the
hooks
place,
hanging everywhere. Yeah, the guy comes by to take a look and got me. Yeah, and the battle you were describing, that is consistent with a snagged fish, because boy, I'm talking about him going absolutely berserk, hooked in the face. You can imagine you snag one on the side. Number one, he's pissed that he got hooked. He didn't want to eat that thing anyway.
Yeah.
It got him anyway. So, yeah, they really have a bad attitude when you snag one like in the side.
Yeah.
Or I've seen it multiple times also with those longer knife jigs. Of course, the hook on the top snags it, and one on the bottom, and then it's like dragging up a piece of plywood
sideways.
Man.
Almost,
oh my
right?
gosh! Yeah. You fight lasts 3 times longer than you'd think, and then you think you got a 300-pounder on there, and you grind them up as a 100-pounder bit in a U. You know.
So what's your preferred hooking method of knife jigs? One, a treble and a single hook, or you like the multiple hooks? What do you have a preferred method?
I don't. I mean, I know that putting. I think you can get carried away. You know, I'm not sure. I mean, I've seen them where the thing looks like a flower. You know, I mean, it's got hooks hanging off all over it, which it's a little excessive, and it can be downright dangerous.
Yes.
You land the thing on the deck, and there's the
hooks flying everywhere.
Yeah, the hooks that are attached with the spectra. I mean, they're just flopping everywhere. But it works. I mean, putting hooks on the top and the bottom of it definitely works.
Yeah.
And,
you like the treble hook?
I do.
Yeah, the big
I do. Especially on the sinkers. Yeah, those heavy duty trebles.
How about that Eddie rig, man? I still laugh about that thing. It works.
It's funny, you guys. I was going to tell a story, a tribute to Steve Loomis when we had a service for him. Go back to the mid '90s, and we're catching bluefin daytime, heavy line, using mackerel and sardines. Anyway, I remember as a novice angler, he just had this giant backlash in his 50W, and I run over to the cabinet and I put a 12-ounce sinker on his hook and toss it over the downwind side. You know, I'm peeling it off, get the backlash out. Gets a 180-pounder on.
Isn't that crazy?
The early days of the Eddie rig, maybe call it the Loomis rig, right, or the Ekstrom rig.
So I when we got in, I was. Steve Loomis was there at the dock. I was talking to him about it. I was like, "Yeah, look at that one, man. You got it on the sinker. You know, the sinker, the backlash rig. You know." Yeah. And he goes, "Did you try another one?"
Yeah. which is probably the most key question of the whole thing, right?
Absolutely. I was like, "You didn't try another one." Yeah. But it wasn't. I mean, we actually, that same story was repeated countless times over the years. You know, you'd get one on a sinker, drop it straight up and down. So there was we had a lot of information that we didn't pay close enough attention to.
It was presented in front of you without you even realizing it.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny, guys, that you call it the Eddie rig. I think there was quite a bit of that going on long before Eddie.
Long before
Eddie made it public.
And then the other thing too, you know, all these guys fishing the bait with dropper loop rigs. Yeah. I mean, how many times did they eat the sinker instead of the bait? Right?
Many a time.
Yeah.
Many a time. Yeah. So it's. We were going back to the treble hook on those things. No doubt that makes a big difference. Yeah. Again, there's a lot of those fish on those sinker rigs with the treble hooks where it wounds them, you know, because they just inhale that thing. It's gone, and it gets into gill rakers or whatever, and it
gets them in a spot where it damages.
It does damage.
Where it helps you.
Yeah, it helps the angler tremendously.
Yeah. Corey, you had a good text from Jeff.
I do. So this comes from our conversation of what Tim referred. It's the Ikejime, or what Tim referred to as the Taniguchi wire down the fish, and. It's from Jeff on Sushi and a Roll, and who else would the good information come from, right? Yeah. He says, good morning, great show. He says, Tim has such great knowledge, and definitely, he says it definitely keeps the color. Otherwise, you see the rainbow patterns develop from the heat of the fish trying to cool down. And he says it adds longer shelf life, too. He says, Happy New Year.
Okay.
So how about
there you go.
Yeah. From the man.
From the man.
Yeah. Hey, John in Rancho San Diego has a question for Tim. He says, what's your preferred way to hook a fly line sardine and a dropper loop?
Most of the time, I'm a belly hook guy.
Belly hook
on the two fins in the middle.
Right.
I hook it, just clip it underneath those two fins, that little bony piece there. I would say 95% of the time that's how I hook my bait.
All right.
If I want to long cast it, say there's not very much current, or it's calm, to where the boat's not drifting much, and you're relying on that long cast. I'll nose hook it, because you can cast a sardine a long way by hooking it in the nose. That bony structure there,
without pulling the hook.
Without pulling the hook out, exactly. I mean, you can throw that thing like a jig. You can get it way out there.
Yeah.
I also do like that shoulder hook.
Yeah.
In the top. I don't.
Bait swims real nice.
Yeah, I don't use that as much, just because I prefer the belly hook. That's how I've done it forever. But that shoulder hook, that yields a lot of bites. It's a very, very good hooking method.
I like it.
All right,
it's good stuff for sure.
All right, let's jump back in the phones.
How about Sean? Sean Cohn from Lomita. Appreciate you joining us on this last day of 2022, Sean.
Hey, thanks a lot. Happy New Year, guys. I was just wondering, Pete, I love to go into archives. I'd really love to see is the guest hosts that were on that show back in the archives. Is there a possible way we could add that? Should that be advantageous to all of us?
Also, you mean the actual name of the of who the
guest host
of the you mean of the guest?
That's right. Yeah, exactly. The guest.
It should be on
really
there.
Cool.
On most of the archives should list.
Okay.
Yeah, most of the archives on there should list who the guest was on the show.
If not,
Adam the man. Adam's listening. Yeah. But most of them do. There's very few exceptions on the app, as well as on the website letstalkhookup.com, should list who, like if Captain Tim Ekstrom, like when we list this show, it'll say Captain Tim Ekstrom from the Royal Star.
Yeah, I think it does.
Yes, absolutely. Right. So they do. So you can find out, like, you can go back. In fact, when I was putting together the best of show for tomorrow, I was going back on archives and said, oh yeah, that guy, we haven't heard from that guy in a long time. I grabbed that, download that archive, and then cut it up and paste it into the best of show for tomorrow.
It's good times.
Yeah. All right. Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. Interesting text from our man, Gary White from Lawndale. He says, Captain Tim and the Royal Star has had so many innovations, which is true. I mean, you guys invented RSW, the Ikejime method, and then also something as simple as the lowering the fish lightly onto the deck instead of throwing it on. You guys kind of pioneered that too, right?
100%.
Just gently, instead of like bringing the fish up and then slamming it on the deck, which is like the worst thing you can do for the meat, right?
It is the worst thing you can do. Yeah. The body slam, the flip it off the gaff.
Boom, exactly.
And then the fish, they start doing the funky chicken across the deck. Like they're just hammering themselves when they do that. So it makes such a difference. Lower. You just
laying the fish on the deck.
Lower it onto the deck rather than slam
and
it.
then get that spike in there right away. Does every fish get spiked on the Royal Star?
Every single one.
Every single one.
Yep.
Doesn't matter whether it's a 15-pound yellowtail or a 200-pound tuna.
It immobilizes them like immediately.
Instantly.
Yeah.
Remember the days of albacore when they did like you put them on the deck and they just like start beating the drum.
It just drives you,
and it beat the fish up.
It's funny because now that sound drives me crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The flapping.
Yeah.
It used to be. That used to be.
It's against your motto, man.
It used to be symphony. Now it's like electricity running down your spine. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the fish we'll grab it. I grab it right off the gaff, and just bam, the thing never even hits the deck.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, of all the fish that it makes the biggest difference in the end quality. I believe yellowtail. It's transformed those yellowtail between RSW and spiking them.
Yeah. I got to tell you, we had some yellowtail tacos the other night from fish that I caught in October on the Shogun. Unbelievable. Yellowtail is like my favorite fish.
Yeah.
Period. I mean, when it's taken care of, spiked, RSW'd, and then filleted at Fisherman's Processing.
And it freezes great,
and it freezes unbelievable. Yeah. It's some of my favorort fish.
Yeah, you remember back in the day when yellowtail was a second-class citizen. It was like, they're good smoked. Talk about missing the boat.
Yeah.
Those things are unbelievable. Color, texture, flavor. They are absolutely as gourmet a product as
no question
anywhere.
In the pan with olive oil, on the grill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Barbecued.
Versatile.
On the Traeger.
Yep.
Yeah. And again, that spiking and bleeding them, it absolutely makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of product, The other thing you should consider when you have your fish done
I already know what
at
you're going to
Fisherman's
say.
Processing.
5 mil bags.
Well, 5 mil bags is
Okay.
very important, and I 100% believe in 5 mil bags. But smoked bluefin belly.
Oh.
At Fisherman's Processing.
Yeah.
Raymond does.
You can't beat that.
They're like unbelievable. So if you catch a fish, a nice bluefin tuna, just say, hey, will you smoke my bellies for me?
Wow.
And I promise you, you'll go crazy.
It's legit.
Yeah.
By far the best smoked fish.
You're making me hungry.
Is tuna belly.
All right, hey, we're going to be right back. More from Tim Ekstrom, all this cool stuff. When we return on Let's Talk About the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
Hi, I'm Bart Hall, and I'm here to announce the return of the Hall family shows to Southern California. 2023 will see the first Hall family show in San Diego in 4 years, the first Hall family show in California in 3 years, and the first outdoor recreation show in Southern California in 2023. It will be the Bart Hall Show, February 16th and 19th at the Del Mar Fairgrounds, and it's going to be spectacular. Then we move to the Bart Hall Show, March 29th to April 2nd at the Long Beach Convention Center. Since 1946, millions of happy family memories have been made at this show, and more will be made this year. We thank Turner's Outdoorsman for sponsoring our 75th anniversary celebration. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Bart Hall Shows, presented by Progressive. And remember,
it's a whale of a show. One of the dream trips for most anglers is Alaska. There are so many lodges. How do you make a choice? It's easy. Choose the one most Let's Talk Hookup listeners return to time after time. Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. No one does it better than Kingfisher Charters. They offer the best service, the most comfortable accommodations, fantastic food, and the finest charter captains in Sitka. All for the ultimate value. One visit and you will understand why nobody beats Kingfisher Charters. Sitka is famous for some of the best runs of salmon in Alaska. And if giant Alaskan halibut is your target, the expert captains at Kingfisher Charters know the hot spots and can put you on a fish of a lifetime. Plenty of rockfish and huge lingcod are there too. And when it comes to fish processing, the best in Alaska is Kingfisher Charters. It's all included in your package. In fact, everything is included except tips. It is truly amazing how the Kingfisher crew continues the quality of service they deliver year after year. Kingfisher Charters, 800-727-6136 or check kingfishercharters.com.
Seasoned long-range fishermen know that the Red Rooster 3 is the finest fishing vessels in terms of technology, design, speed, comfort, and safety. This 105-foot sport fishing yacht meets every demand for comfort while delivering an unforgettable fishing vacation. Captain Andy Cates and crew are experienced, friendly, and sincere in their desire to help you have the trip of a lifetime. Book a trip on the Red Rooster 3, and you'll be back. Trips go fast. So check redrooster3.com or call Lee Palm Sport Fisheries at 619-224-3857. As the inventor and world leader in fluorocarbon, Seagar has you covered with 4-liter choices to help you catch more fish. Gold Label is Seagar's thinnest and strongest leader. Fluoro Premier has a thin diameter with high break strength and softness. Blue Label is tough as nails with incredible abrasion resistance and impact strength. And Pink Label is the choice for tough light conditions. From 2 pounds to 400 pounds, pick up a spool of Seagar at your favorite tackle dealer or visit Seagar.com.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. And man, we're having so much fun in the studio, and it's been such a busy day.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, San Diego anglers are going to have a night at the Round Table.
Interesting.
Yes, they are on January the 11th. Starting off the new year, right? It's going to be at Portuguese Hall right here in Shelter Island, San Diego. Meeting starts at 6:30, and doors open at 6:30. Meeting starts at 7. Special guest Wendy Toshihara from Iserline Knots, and she's going to do knots and lines. Steve Carson from Penn, Reels and Reel Care. Mike Lackey from the Vagabond going to do long range prep. Fisherman's Landing tackle guys are going to do wahoo wire rigging fluorocarbon, monofilament leaders, tuna, marlin, dorado, the whole deal. It's great. The night at the Round Table, presented by the San Diego Anglers, a great group of people, January 11th at Portuguese Hall. It sounds like it's free. Doesn't say it's going to cost anything, so just go there and check it out.
How cool
for
is
sure.
that?
Yeah, and phones have been packed up here. You want to get through for the first time in a long time. 213-432-1090 open right now.
Tim's a little distracted, Pete. He's got the
here from the World Headquarters, watching the Royal Star.
We're
back
watching
in
them pull in right
yeah,
now.
Look at how beautiful that boat is.
Right?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah,
man.
You know, I was going out the other day in my little skiff, and I shot a picture. We were going out side by side next to the Royal Star, and I shot a picture to Tim. It's like, man, what a beautiful boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, the Royal Star, you look at the schedule, and it's like booked. I mean, there's a few spots here and there. We have a 4-day Let's Talk Hookup trip in July booked, but you can don't let that confuse you, right? Because you can still get on trips.
A lot of times.
Yeah.
Things change. I mean, I would recommend especially if you go online, you look at it and it's booked, says booked. If you want to go on that trip, call Tracy, because she has a way of working magic, and you know, she knows that schedule like the back of her hand, and spots open up. There's some, you know, trips that
things happen.
Yeah, and there's trips that she'll reserve the space for the anglers on the prior year, but you know, she knows everybody, and maybe somebody has put a bug in her ear and says, you know what, I might not be able to go this year on this trip. So she has an amazing ability to shoehorn anglers in when, you know, it says it's all full. So,
and how many times has it happened, Tim, where a guy wants to back out of the trip because maybe his daughter's getting married or something, you know, he doesn't want to miss a particular date, but he doesn't want to lose the money on the trip, so he's kind of forced to go.
Or you've just, I mean, again, there's a million different scenarios, right. But she'll have a list of guys that hey, I'll go, but I have another obligation. But if you can find someone to fill my spot,
right. They'll be happy to back
all
out.
The time. And it happens all the time.
Yeah.
So, you know, she's got that list, you know, in her head. So again, if the schedule says it's all booked up and you want to go on that trip, give her a call.
Yeah, and that's key. Yeah. Throughout the whole year, whether it be a 4-day trip or whether it be a 10-day trip.
Exactly.
Yeah. And RoyalStarSportFishing.com, you can link it right on the Let's Talk Hookup website, or just go to the website directly, and everything, all the information. And easiest thing is, like, you guys are in the office all the time. Tracy, yourself, you're always there to answer questions. And that brings up a great text from one of our listeners, Rory in Lakeside, and he says, I'm having done overnight trips as my longest trip. What length trip would you recommend for my first long-range style trip? Which you probably get that question time and time again, right?
I do, and here's what I would say. If you have any reluctance about being on the boat for a significant period of time, go on a 3-day. Because that's a great introductory trip of you know, how the program works, the whole, you know, the shipboard routine, fishing, the standard of service, amenities, quality of the cuisine, the whole thing. It's a great introductory trip, and I would venture 99.9% of anglers, if you love fishing, you go on a 3-day. You're gonna go.
You're gonna go again.
You're gonna go again. And you're gonna say.
You're gonna go on a 10-day.
You're gonna tell yourself, "Oh my gosh, I could go on." Yeah, because it goes by so fast. It's like a blink of an eye.
Yeah, it's the ultimate vacation for a fisherman.
It absolutely is.
So, Tim, describe the difference between an overnight trip on one of the quality boats in San Diego, and there's many, many, many quality boats, versus a 3-day or longer trip on the Royal Star. What would an angler see as that's a difference in the wow factor?
You know, the boat, of course, speaks for itself. I mean, the amenities on a long range, there's a lot more elbow room. You know, the boat's set up for fishing. There's more space. The quality of the individuals you share the rail with. You know, everyone's like-minded, and everybody's just in a place where
there's no that guy.
There just isn't, you know, and it's a statement that I can back up with an awful lot of years of experience.
Sure,
the quality of the crew makes a huge difference on a long range boat, and you know, there's a difference.
And the reason is these guys are career guys.
They're professionals. That's exactly right. They do this for a living. They do this, you know.
They can make a living at it because they're on the water all year long.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, they're not weekend guys. They're not seasonal guys that are, you know, just taking a semester off of school, whatever.
Right.
Not to disparage
and not to take away from overnight boats at all.
Exactly.
Because there's a lot of great professional crews.
It's just different.
Yeah.
It just is.
But
and
the quality of the food, unbelievable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The actual sit down, 3 sit down meals a day,
and then the snacks in between.
Yeah, snacks in between, and it's all it's all included.
And then the accommodations, maximum of 24 people on the Royal Star.
Exactly.
And every stateroom is maximum of 2 people per
and
stateroom.
that makes
huge
all the difference in the world. Again, if you're talking about 20 anglers on a 65-footer versus 24 on an 85-footer, the amount of elbow room, the space,
not even comparable.
It really, and that's why long range fishing is what it is. That's why fishing on Royal Star is what it is. It's just it's a premium standard. It's a premium standard that begins from the first phone call, the first point of contact with Tracy, through every aspect of your voyage. And then following with your experience at Fisherman's Processing, and we have a hand in it every step of the way to ensure that our anglers, that our clientele have a premium quality experience, again, from point 1, point A to point Z.
Now remember the days when you used to get off a boat and you'd have to bring a gaff and drag your fish to a number? If you go on the Royal Star and you use Fisherman's Processing, they do all. You never touch your fish. You get off the boat, you take your gear, and you go. Sean will give you a call when your fish is ready. You don't have to deal with it.
That's exactly right. And that was another one of my,
huge.
I brainstorming coming up as a young man on long range boats, watching that circus up there, and again, not to disparage it, but it always was. I mean, it's, again, you're getting off your trip and you're dragging fish around.
Yeah.
I'm just looking up there going, there's got to be a better way.
Yeah.
And when we came up with the idea, it originally started when we introduced the RSW method of holding the fish. That's when it began with the direct offloading, and through present. To me, that is such a huge benefit for an angler to be able to. I mean, we fill out the order form on the boat; it's done. So an angler walks off the boat, puts his gear in his cart, and drives away. You're done.
And your next stop is Fisherman's Processing to pick up your fillet.
Exactly,
fish.
And everything's accounted for. The fish, they come out of the hatch, they get weighed right there on board. The weight's recorded next to your number.
So you know what your weight is.
You know exactly what you've got, what came out of the hatch.
Yeah.
You know what goes into the hatch also, because you were keeping track of it on the boat. But it's all taken care of. The fish goes directly off the boat into a tote with seawater and ice on the dock. It's handled professionally, right to the door of the facility. It's such a huge advantage.
The difference today of a long range trip, and all the quality boats out of San Diego, the long range guys do a lot of that, and it's night and day.
Yeah,
it's night and day.
The other thing about that direct offloading that there's a huge advantage in, again, the quality of the end product, because it's how many times you handle that fish.
Sure,
it comes out of the hatch, it goes right into the tote,
gets slammed down in a slush
tote, onto the sidewalk, doesn't come back up, get yarded back up into a tote. It all. The less you handle it, the better the end quality product is going to be.
Right? Period.
That's right.
This whole discussion just reminds me of 20-plus years ago, the frozen popsicles. Not only frozen popsicles, but they were salted meat, sliding across the cement and just...
traded in for cans.
Yeah, right?
I mean, it was, let's just say it, man, it was primitive. It was primitive.
But it was the only way to do it.
That's right.
It was the only way.
How many countless millions of fish that I threw out of the hatches, when I down in there, you're throwing them up and boom, you hit the deck, boom, hit the deck, and then you pick it up and boom, hit the cart. I mean, how many carts have holes in the bottom? The fish hitting the nose, hitting the cart, and busted through the plywood.
Solid piece.
It was just primitive. I mean, all we're looking at here is evolution, but I mean, we could go on and on. The difference between a long range trip 25 years ago and today, the standard of service, the quality of the end product, or the overall quality, and what an angler gets for their dollar compared to today versus what it was 25 years. Not that it was a bad deal or rip off back then, but we just didn't know what we know, and we didn't do it like we do now. And with every advance, the quality of the experience for the angler becomes that much better. You know what I'm saying?
No question.
Like the trip is better. How we operate the trip, just from A to Z, the experience now, what an angler gets for their dollar today versus what they got, 25 or 30 years ago, it's exponentially greater.
And I'll say this every time you're on the show, Tim. Thanks to you in the Royal Star for the RSW and for the way that fish are handled today, all the way down to the 3/4 day, to the full day, and to the half day.
Look at the Liberty, the San Diego. All those guys do the fish handling that way too.
Thanks to you and the Royal Star. Seriously,
that in the end, and I think it was the last show we were on. We talked about this.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm going to mention it every time.
I'm going to be dead and gone. The legacy of my legacy in fishing and the penultimate contribution has been RSW, quality fish handling. It transformed an entire industry. No, for the better.
Can you imagine a bluefin we just had over Christmas?
Yeah.
Had it come out of the
I don't want to think about it. Well, let's jump into the phones.
Yes,
they're packed up. They want to talk to Tim.
How about Don? Don in Woodland Hills. Good morning. Appreciate you joining us, Don.
Good morning, guys. Thank you for taking my call today. Just listening about the quality of fish that we have and reflecting on your comment, Corey, 20 years ago about the popsicles that came out, just really shows how far the industry has come, and as anglers, how thankful we all need to be at how our sport that we love so much has grown. And I just want to thank you all on Let's Talk Hookup. I know Rick's not there today. Thanks for a great 2022. I'm looking forward to 2023. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention an organization that's really helping us all out that we all need to participate in actively, and that's CCA. We have a lot coming up in 2023 that can negatively impact the sport we love, and we all need to get behind this and not just talk about it, but really get behind it and help all the leaders that we have in CCA make sure that we get a voice at the table. So anyway, I just wanted to leave everybody thinking about that at the end of the year, and I look forward to all of the fun that we're going to have in 2023.
Yes, thank you, Don,
very nicely said.
Happy New Year to you, and thank you for being one of those guys that really talks the talk and walks the walk and gets involved too. Don is that guy, so get involved.
Not just that guy, but he's that guy.
He is that guy, yeah, for sure. Thanks a lot for the call this morning. You have a good text?
I do, and it's pointed toward you, Pete. And we were talking earlier about fishdope.com and what a great gift for a friend. And Jay from Ocean Beach says, good morning, gentlemen. Happy New Year. Hope you guys had a great Christmas. Questions on the fishdope.com membership. How does it work? I want to give it to my friend. Does it last for 1 year from the date you sign up, or is it January 1 to January 1?
No, it's good for a full year from the day you sign up. You do get $20 off using the code Hookup Now and the membership code when you go on fishdope.com and sign up. $169 a year minus 20, so it's $150 a year for your friend, and that's full access, 365 days, whether you sign up on January 1st or you sign up on June 1st.
How cool is that?
Yeah, it's really cool. So, and it's a great service. I mean, literally, those guys give you reports every single day. And during the peak of the season, they'll multiple updates throughout the year.
Honestly, if you were out offshore fishing with your buddy on his boat, that would probably be the split in the gas, right? I mean, just one time out for the fuel, right? I mean, that's an easy $100 and some spent.
Yeah, no question about it. And and they've been supporting us, and we've been supporting them for a very, very long time, and we do appreciate everything that they do for sure. Yeah, great. Hey, Tim, so again, asking about getting on the Royal Star. Give us a lowdown on your schedule of what you're like. I mean, know you're going to kind of freelance here for the first couple months, but what's the typical schedule? I know because you do the schedule. Give the listeners a rundown of what the typical schedule is for the year.
So starts off with, aside from one longer trip in April, we start off with weekend and a couple of 3-day trips. There's just a few shorter ones, day and a half and 2-day trips. Most of our trips are 3-day trips or longer, 3 or 4 days, beginning, let's say, towards the third week or the first week of May, all the way through the 1st of July were more or less those shorter trips. And again, those trips are designed to take advantage of this local offshore bluefin and all the other offshore fishing that's become very dependable here in the last 5 years, let's say, that early fishing.
Yeah.
And then what we've done, you'll see in our schedule, we run quite a few of the Saturday to Saturday 7-day. That's my absolute favorite trip of all time, beginning towards the third week of July. But I've also, over the past few years, adapted. We've moved some of those trips around or dropped a couple of them and have added more of those 3 and 4 day trips, again, to take advantage of this incredible local fishing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
what a great idea.
It works out better. It works out way better. And what I found also is that it's opened the door for a lot more anglers to get on Royal Star on a shorter trip. You know, there's only so many of us that can have the time and resources to venture a longer one.
Yeah.
But we follow that pattern all the way through the third week of October, and then we fire in. We've got a couple 3, 10 and 11 day trips, and we'll be at the end.
Okay.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, you're thinking about it. I'm already
talking about a year.
Yeah,
but that's how it goes.
RoyalStarSportSfishing.com. The complete schedule's on there.
Exactly.
All the information.
Yeah, both the printable. You can look it up. You
Yeah.
can look at availability online. RoyalStarSportFishing.com. And again, I want to emphasize, if there's a trip, because a lot of them say they're full, and they are, but give Tracy a call, because, again, she has a way of working magic when it comes to that schedule.
Sure. Hey, here's a great text from Ken in Santa Barbara. It says, thanks to Tim for running a great operation. Got my personal best yellowfin tuna on the Royal Star, 297.
Man.
Couldn't have done it without the coaching from Brian and Blake. And that's something I can personally attest to, is being on the rail with a big fish. Those guys are right next to you the whole step of the way.
Makes all the difference.
It makes all the difference in the world. Yeah,
absolutely.
And that's what you're talking about, a professional guy.
Right. Think about this. Like, if you tied into a 300 pounder or 250, and you were just on your own back there.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
Go ahead and try to catch that here. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Think of the difference between that as opposed to having, Alex by your side, having Brian by your side, having Jake, having Mikey, one of the guy, where you're getting coached with every turn of the handle.
Every turn.
And it turns up what could be a potential just, drawn out long nightmare into...
Especially right near the end game, which is really what at the end game, especially for big fish, is when most fish are lost, right?
Exactly.
And at that end game, is that guy is there and said, okay, get a wind. Okay, get a wind.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that coaching is critical.
It's key.
Yeah.
I want to say one other thing about the schedule that my memory was jogged. Everybody, you guys need to know that when I make that Royal Star schedule, I make that schedule as a fisherman. I'm the guy running the boat, right? So I'm putting the trip on a schedule that I want to be driving as the captain, and really my objective is obviously to put ourselves in the best possible fishing position.
Right.
So I think of it way more. Fishing comes first,
right?
You know what I mean? I'm thinking of it as an angler, as a fisherman, as a captain, and the business part of it comes second.
This is all to maximize success.
Yeah.
There it is.
Because no matter what, the guy driving the boat, I'm the one that's going to have to shoulder the ultimate.
So you're doing it
result
because you think that's what's going to be successful as far as
from a fishing perspective. Exactly.
Awesome stuff, Tim. We're going to be right back on Let's Talk Hookup. More from Tim on the Royal Star when we return on Let's Talk Hookup after Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
Low gas prices, great service, and free ice is what Summit Gasoline at the San Diego Sports Arena is all about. For your car, truck, and especially your trailer boat, you need Summit Gasoline. The savings are substantial when you fill up at the Summit, but they don't compromise on service. No way. The great staff is attentive, friendly, and ready to help. When you pull up to the pumps, notice how clean it is, the great sound system, and of course, the low gas and diesel prices. Walk into the Summit Gasoline Bistro and check out the selection of frozen bait and chum, the top-of-the-line Italian coffee, and so much more. Now, hear this. Get 100 pounds of ice free with a 35-gallon minimum purchase, and stock up on snacks, beer, water, soda, and fishing licenses for your trip. Just when you need low gas prices most, Summit Gasoline at the Sports Arena comes to the rescue. Summit Gasoline. Low prices, friendly staff, free ice, and easy in and out with your boat and trailer at the San Diego Sports Arena.
Swordfish season is on, and now's the time to get your gear. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, the saltwater tackle professionals. Daiwa has been making great saltwater reels for decades, and their lineup of electric reels are fantastic. The Daiwa Seaborg, with its mega torque motor, has the power to bring in that giant swordfish. And when it comes to flying a kite, the Daiwa Tanacom is the answer, and so affordable. Both Daiwa reels are in stock now at Fisherman's Landing Tackle. Visit us at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
When it comes to fishing rods for saltwater, there's just one name you need to know, CalStar. Take, for example, the Graphiter series. It's a true graphite and fiberglass composite rod, the finest it's ever been built. And for anglers seeking traditional performance, durability, and quality at an affordable price, the CalStar West Coast series of rods and blanks are the ones for you. Their master craftsmen bring decades of rod building experience to every rod they make. So if you want your fishing rods to be truly state-of-the-art, I always recommend CalStar at fine tackle stores everywhere.
Great fishing is what Seaforth Sports Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limits, Elgato Doe, Pride, Polaris Supreme, Tribute, Pacifica, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth, Sea-Watch, and San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or schedule, check seaforthlanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup, man. We've had such a good time, and
yeah, what a great show!
Right?
Goes so fast,
so much fun,
huh?
Such good information.
All right,
and
flip the coin. Let's see if it's a caller or a texter.
Here we go.
It's a texter. It's John in Rancho San Diego. He wins the $75 to East County or Dana Landing, Lemon Grove, and then the $50 gift card to Cal's Custom Reels and a new 2023 Bill Varney calendar.
Yeah, and now you had a quick text to read because this was significant.
It's kind of cool. This came in during the commercial break, and this comes from Steve Miller from Arcadia, and he's going all the way back to 1986, and he says, I can attest to the big fish coaching Tim Gaff, my personal best 338 yellowfin tuna on the RP. Back in 1986.
You were a youngster.
Yeah, think about that.
Right?
Yeah. There's some pictures back then, you know.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I had hair like Roger Daltrey, you know, curls.
Yeah,
a lot of curls.
Old picture. Yeah,
so cool.
Yeah, for you going to Mitch's, you see some of those pictures.
I know, it's funny. Huh?
Yeah, it's really fun. Well, Tim, thanks a lot. If somebody wants to go aboard the Royal Star, how do we do it?
Okay, again, call the office, 619-224-4764. If you want an old school, actual live voice talking to somebody experienced, Tracy's in there most of the time. Brian and I were in there and available, especially these next couple months. We're available at all times. If you need somebody to push you over the edge, to talk you into go on a trip, we're available at all times.
And keep an eye on the schedule because you may add trips as they go here for the next couple months.
Exactly. And then RoyalStarSportFishing.com.
Yeah,
that's the best way to keep track of things,
man.
And we'll keep that thing updated as the season progresses.
Yeah. Well, thanks, great show. Sure appreciate that very much. Hey, thanks to Christian for all he does, and thanks to you out there. Thanks to Adam for all he does. Go Michigan! He's on his way to the bowl right now to go see them. Hopefully to victory there. And then tomorrow on Let's Talk Hookup, it's our New Year's show. It's a recorded show. Don't forget, no calls, no texts, but it's going to be a great show. You'll definitely want to tune in 7 and 9 a.m. Thanks to all of you out there. Thanks to you, Corey. Thanks to, of course, Rick for being fantastic co-host for 2022. Happy New Year, everybody, and we'll see you next year, which will actually be tomorrow on Let's Talk Hookup for a recorded show, and then live back here next week.
The 7th and 8th.
Yeah, we'll see you then.